Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English new edition for tonight's headlines. We have the validation workshop on essential social practices at the Minister of Social Affairs. International scene, Nigeria leads 6 countries opposed to the change of the CFA franc to ECO. Welcome to our newsroom. Under the aegis of the State Secretariat for Youth and Sports, the network of Mabla associations organized this morning the second sessions of the Mabla March dedicated to peace and environment. Member of government, parliamentarian, students, families, tourists, NGOs, all concerned about the future of the planet and peace participate in this record-breaking march in the region from Al-Dadaba to the school of Me'dehu. Hikers were able to admire the magnificent setting that this region offers with the greenery, mountains, and especially grass as far as the eye can see. Participating as the first person in charge was the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, His Excellency Hassan Mohammed Kamil. Did not fail to congratulate first of all the RAM, which has done remarkable work, will encourage it to preserve this tradition for his part. He promised that this department would always be the first in the file to support and advance any associations fighting and campaigning for the good cause. It should be noted that hiking is an outdoor activity that is carried out on foot following an itinerary marked or not, alone or in a group. It is both a sports and a leisure activity of discovery and contemplation. The prefect of Obokh, Abdul Malik Muhammad Banoita, has indicated that from Al-Dadaba to the schools of Me'dehu, hikers were able to admire the magnificent setting that this region offers with greenery, mountains, and especially grass as far as the eye can see. The Secretary of State for Decentralization, Mohammed Arwamis, did not fail to congratulate, first of all, the networks of Mabla, which has done a remarkable work while encouraging it to preserve these traditions for his part. He promised that his department would always be the first in file to support and advance any associations fighting and campaigning for the good cause. For his part, the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, His Excellency Hassan Mohammed Kamil, did not fail to congratulate, first of all, the associations of Mabla, which has done some remarkable work while encouraging to preserve these traditions. For his part, he promised that his department would always be the first in the file to support and advance any associations fighting and campaigning for the good cause. After the Minister of Education of the Republic, Palo, and the Ugandan Prime Minister's Chief of Protocol arrived on Friday, many delegations are beginning to flock to participate in this 3-round World Summit on Balance Sheet and Inclusive Education, which will be opened on Monday, 27 January in Djibouti by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the President of the Education Relief Foundation, Sheikh Mansour bin Musallam. This Saturday, the Yemeni Ministers of Higher Education, the Minister of Education of Sri Lanka, their delegations and prospects, as well as several journalists from the international press have set foot on Djibouti soil. It is tomorrow, Sunday, that all the delegations expected for this international event. In Djibouti, the State Protocol Services and the member of the organizing committee are at work to welcome all the guests at Djibouti International Airport and direct them directly to the hotel reserved for them. The Ministry of Social Affairs, Solidarity, close collaboration with UNFD and UNICEF, organized a workshop to validate the studies of formative researches on essential social practices and to close the National Week of Social Actions that began on 19 January. The ceremony took place yesterday, Thursday, at the Sheraton Hotel. The theme of this year's National Social Action Week was National Social Action Week, Mutual Aid and Solidarity for Social Development. These so-called studies of essential social practices aim to bring about behavioral changes in the community to become aware of the risks associated with disease, lack of hygiene, and poor nutrition. This workshop was an opportunity to validate the results and recommendations of the experts in order to strengthen the programs of the Ministry of Social Affairs Solidarity. The workshop brought together additions to the Minister of Social Affairs, Mona Osman Aden, the representative of UNICEF, the coordinator of United Nations System, the Secretary General of the UNFD, Fatima Musa Abdi, executive of the Department of Social Affairs, Civil Society. During this workshop, our presentations on the results of the formative research study was made by Dr. Sagal Jama and Dr. Souley. The representative of UNICEF and the Secretary General of UNFD, who took turn to speak at the validations workshop and the studies on formative researches on social practices. The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Mona Osman Aden, recalled that the objective is not only to provide social assistance but also to co-responsible beneficiaries so that they become a fully fledged actor of social change. The Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, launched this morning at Kampa in the installations work of the digital telephones. Listen to the report.
Launched this morning at Camp Mo joined the installation works of the new digital telephone network of the Djiboutian Armed Forces. The launching ceremony was attended by the Chief of Defense Staff, Brigadier General Tahir Ali Muhammad, as well as senior ADF officials. Welcomed on his arrival by Colonel Muhammad Wa'i Sabani, Garrison Major and Captain Sia Abdullah Hussein, Commander of Signals, SEMGA, first conducted a review of the troops. Afterwards, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim attended a presentation of the SAID project concerning the structure, the multiple connected units, and its use. This new system, contrary to the old one, will enable the ADF to secure all ADF communications through a mesh and reduce the cost. It will also enable the connection of all ADF regiments deployed throughout the Republic while delivering communication on time. This nationwide network, once finalized, can be extended to the civilian sector.
Indeed, with this presentation, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim was then able to see firsthand the equipment acquired to build this network. Listen to the report.
During this presentation, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim was able to see firsthand the equipment acquired to build this network. All the equipment constituting this latest technology network has been purchased from the French company Alcatel, the #1 telephone company in France. This equipment is composed of automatic exchange and digital microwave links and will enable the network to be meshed. All this equipment will not last if there is no infrastructure to keep it in operation. It is within this framework that warehouse for the proper storage of spare parts has been built, which SEMGA has been able to contemplate. The ceremony to launch the work on the new digital telephone network of the Djiboutian Armed Forces ended with a buffet offered by the military command in a serene and friendly atmosphere.
geesi qaran oo naga gudo kursimada iyo gundhigii xorriyo gobonimo cadkeediinu gooyayo intay waxay taho jalla geesi qaran jalla geesi qaran oo naga gudo jalla geesi qaran oo naga gudo
Kist operations using video images were performed on Djiboutian patients at the Alta Regional Hospital under the supervision of the CNSS. These operations have been performed by Spanish and Moroccan surgeon and professional, namely Dr. Diego Gonzalez and Suhail Bouba and Dr. Hisham Al-Azhar. These last 3 days, thanks to an innovative technique that consists of a minimally invasive surgery without opening the rib cage. The body is perforated, making a single hole to treat patients with lung disease such as cysts and tumors without making large incisions. Reduce the surgical risks for the patient since the instrument and camera are introduced through small incision. The camera is used to visualize the operating file in order to guide the surgeon's intervention. The Regional Council of Ali Sabih, in partnership with the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, the prefectures of the region, the Djibouti Pétanque Federation's launched yesterday mornings the third sessions of the Pétanque Trophy named Ausdamer. In total, 32 teams have registered for the tournament, including 14 teams from Ali Sabih and 18 from different municipalities in Djibouti. The tournament of Pétanque in honors to this plant very appreciated for its means tasks and tea and its therapeutic contributions to the kidney, very known in particular in the Asajok region. The kickoff of this tournament was given by the President of the Regional Councils of Ali Sabih, Omar Ahmed Baisa, in the presence of the parliamentarian and Abdi Khair Bouh Almi Wahabe Baisa, the Chief of the Bias Army, the Colonel Abdul Wasi' bin Mohammed, Director General of the Djiboutian Railway Company, Mahmoud Roble Dabbar. The award ceremony was held in the presence of the Minister of Health, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Omar Ahmed Waisa, the President of the Pétanque Federation's representative of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport. In an interview, the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Omar Ahmed Wais, thanked all the sponsors supported for the realizations of the tournament. This session's trophy. The Japanese International Cooperation Agency organized some meetings to present the report of the final active JICA volunteers today at the Acacia Hotel. The meeting chaired by the within the framework of the implementations of the project for strengthening livelihood resources and reducing the vulnerability of a pastoral community in the Republic of Djibouti, which is the result of the cooperation between the government of the Republic and the Islamic Development Bank, intervening in the village of Korangar. He has been on Thursday, January. 15 solar-powered freezers were handed over to the women of the locality located 55 kilometers from the capital of the Obok region. This sheet of solar freezers is part of the creations of the income-generating activity in its components, community development and capacity buildings and beneficiaries populations, particularly women. In addition, the operations of these solar freezers were enabled conservation of the product, cash, and facilitate the marketing of the fish caught of the member, the Fishermen's Cooperative of Korangar, who have already benefited from the project, share 20 equipped fishing boats and a refrigerated vehicle, 2 large 12 meters boat from the transport of sea product to market Obok and Djibouti. The ceremony of handed over freezers, which took place at Korangor, was organized by the management unit representative by its national coordinator Jama Mahmoud Luale, in the presence of the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Mohammed Hamad Ismail, and the Sub-Prefect of Angar, Mr. Mohammed Ali Mohammed, representing the Prefect of the Obok region and Chief Customary Peoples of the Korangar village. For the international scene, Nigeria leads 6 countries opposed to the changes of the CFA franc to ECO. Listen to Dini Musa.
African Economic and Monetary Union, made up of 8 former French colonists and Guinea-Bissau, a former Portuguese colony, said in December that it would rename the African franc. 5 English-speaking countries in the West Africa and Guinea criticized the change in the name of the regional currency, which is moving from the African franc to the Economic Cooperation Organization. Nigeria, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Libya, and Gambia criticized this change after the West African Monetary Zone meeting ended on Thursday.
Locust invasion in East Africa, food security threatened. Listen to the report.
Cricket invasion, the likes of which East Africa hasn't seen in 25 years. Kenya, Ethiopia, and Somalia are invaded by tens of billions of these insects, which are particularly virtuous when they move in groups, each swarm forming impressive clouds, some of the size of Luxembourg. Local populations are redoubling their efforts to chase them away, notably by banging on metal sheets, but they are overwhelmed by the scale of these insects, which have already caused serious damage to crops. UN fears major food security problem in the region.
This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.
Nouvelle offre 4G.